was actually, my patent attorney asked me to do something and he could safely send this stuff back. That's the original start of it. With your side, and the predictive stuff, actually started with, I was in an environment and it had to do with, I passed to.
So great point, right? So then what he's saying is, now here's another industry, like this is what we need is product management to help you. Because if you think about secure messaging, like the bank send you something document, oh, you gotta log in, it's a one-time password, I'm gonna send it to you. That's so stupid because then you forget, right? And same thing, right? So that's what people use today to send. So is that the industry to disrupt and go after?
I don't know.
Well, that's
what I think you've got.
Are you selling to the everyday user at home who's going, hey, boy, I'd like to secure my stuff, or I got a new patent I'm developing, I want to send it to somebody, or is it IT staff to protect?
After we decided what was the first thing was going to do boutique things for IP attorneys, right?
Okay,
And that was the original thing. Then the second phase of this was the music industry, because what happened was we saw the breakouts of the Taylor Swift plays and all that stuff. We realized that there is a tremendously underserved audience there, that there is this massive and I have a thing with DRMs, I'll tell you right now, they're abusive, offensive, everything about them I don't like, but at the same time they're out there, you have to deal with them. But they're all this top-down thing, and that serves the industry titans very well, right? That's very good. But for the artists, and that's why we came to the full thing that we go back to the IP. We're going to protect the IP, and so the idea there is you have a vast audience, and there's a huge market there, because the fact is, whether or not my song is any good, I think it's good. I will spend $10 to protect that song so that somebody can hear it 3 times for free, and the third time they have to pay. They'll do that all day long. Every mom and pop garage band in the country will do that. And I don't know how many garage bands there are in the country.
It's interesting. I was going to ask you, one is your pricing strategy, second, so if I'm an artist, I'm going to be launching on YouTube now. So, because I want maximum audience. So how do you protect against that? Because if I don't get maximum audience, I don't get, if I don't get exposure as an artist, I'm not going to get anywhere.
Remember, I told you we have a preview and a legit, you give the preview.
But I could download a YouTube file, right, a video. So take that now. So what is your charging mechanism? I forgot to ask.
We don't charge. Yeah, we don't charge for what we charge for. We have 2 charging mechanisms. The first thing, we don't charge for on a product on a site. We don't charge the content consumer ourselves for anything. We charge for the right for that end, to create that end, to do the protection. That's all we charge for. Just content.
One-time fee?
One-time fee. 1/10 of a penny.
No subscription, nothing.
They can do it as often. The thing is it's disingenuous for them to try to use it for too many things, because remember, every time you change it for one security thing, you change for everything else. So what's going to happen is you'll wind up with people that'll have thousands of these things for their email thing, but at 1/10 of a penny, who cares?
I know a lot of people go like a yearly subscription.
But yeah, basically what they're buying blocks, 5,000, 10,000 blocks of the rights to buy. You can create 5,000 of these.
Pay ahead, use it or lose it in a year.
It's right.
Good, yeah, that's not like yearly.
So the consumer-wise,
I mean, that's where, from everything I've seen in my wanderings, that's always been the way. I was driven to my dream for pricing model.
So
for sure.
my thoughts on that is that consumer, that's going to be difficult. They'll push back, but enterprises will buy it. Because consumers don't want to buy ahead. I'd rather pay, the student going to pay $1.99 every month.
Well, remember the consumer isn't paying us. The content provider is paying for our ability to create it. So the consumer downloads a song. Here it is the way it's.
Well, it's a purchaser. I mean, either an individual or an enterprise.
Right. But okay, if I want to write a book, right, I've got to go buy the doc. I've got to go buy the Word or Office processing or whatever it is. Or Office, whatever it's back office. But I have to have something to do that too, right? So that's what we want to be. We are the tool by which you protect your whatever it is, your picture of your daughter in the bathtub, your song, your book. We don't care, whatever it is. So you buy that right, and it costs you, you fine. You got to pay $29.95, and you get the ability to create 5,000 of these, and you're only going to create 10. We don't care. That's our spiel to them. And the same thing with guard dog, because if you go look, there's a thing called guard dog, which was an old school way of, I'm a software developer, I want to go sell my stuff and put it down freeware, download sites, right? So what you did is you went and bought Guard Dog, and you basically paid them $19.99, and they bound your thing to a key or whatever, and you were happy, and your guy could only do it one year, or so you thought, could only download one time and that stuff. But the point is, people, whether that was effective or whatever it wasn't, but people did it. People bought more copies of Guard, because there were a lot of people out there buying software. There's more people buying Guard Dog than relevant software out there.
There's a lot of applications for it, and I think Brian mentioned earlier, it's like, definitely, I think once you get it up and running, you need like a product owner, just go out and explore,
Yeah, we don't, we're not.
No, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, we all we've ever said is we want to license technology, we want to bend the technology, we want to go out there and throw out basically, skunkworks type things. Okay, let's prove we can do this, let's build a wallet or whatever, but let's go take people that are expert in the industry, let them go fly with it, sell them an API, SDK, maybe at a little extra price or whatever. We just rake in the ambulance sales that get generated, let them go out and make all the money. But the other way we make money is in the financial transactions. We have the idea that you go out and you sell a song, or you distribute a song, YouTube. They bring down, they see the preview version, but it's limited, either resolution or length or whatever it would be. They want to see you have to do the inline whatever. So they click, whatever, boom, and we have a consumer ambulance that's sitting there, and it has their payment information it's long complicated. We have a document I'll send you that explains how this works. But they have an ambulance that's pre-configured that says when they're authorized to auto pay something and what the limits are and who and all these things, constricted thing. But it's also ambulance. And so what happens, that conversation and the conversation of the content, and the ambulance have a conversation, and they say we're going to reissue. So they reissue that, whatever that is, that song, in its expanded state with the material that could be played, only streamed, but played through our viewer. And so they get actually a different song with a different amulet and all that stuff, exposed to what they paid for. Where, it might be limited to 3 uses on 4 different devices, however it would be. But that's what we do we get 2 cents of that transaction. Right. So it's 99 cents we get.
No, roger that. Yeah, I do be curious to know more about that. But I have a bunch of other questions, but I think this is really close to time. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get from Abrar, I'm gonna get it from a couple other people, and then I'll put them all together and send it if anybody wants, and they can kind of go through it back and answer some questions. But I got enough. I definitely have enough to write up.
So don't count on any of the financial models on the music industry, just FYI, because that industry is going through a lot of changes right now, and at the end of the day, it's gonna be sort of if we bring it to that industry, the marketplace will tell us, hopefully through some bidding war between a couple of the music guys who wants to be first, but I'm not really sure we know what the economics are. My friends in the industry. Well,
Spotify didn't recognize that there's two different people that have entitlements on a song, and they're dumbass. Excuse me, but this was stupid from the get-go.
Yeah.
They went into the one that had to publish the artist, right, and didn't pay the songwriters, whatever. The thing is, we're beautiful for that because we have both sides can apply their image to the same song. Solved. That is an incredibly stupid.
Well,
Sorry.
There's a lot. The artists typically either hire ASCAP or BMI, and there's a lot that's going on in that world right now. We may even want to talk with both of those organizations. They may actually have an interest in signing on because they're basically the leaders in collecting of that. I think that what we might want to do is have some industry professionals from a few different industries that I know interface with us to talk to us about what they think based on us coming up with an executive summary of what this is so that we don't bury them with just too much, but here's the pros and cons of what this can do, and then try and see where the lowest hanging fruit is. If we can find a customer that wants to come on board right away because they have an immediate need, we target that, and that's our industry. I'm really nervous about going into the marketplace with a product where we don't really know who our customer is immediately, and we have to go and market and sell to them and then spend a lot of marketing and media and promotion dollars just to build our business. So I think that there's a couple of possibilities here that are useful. One is that because you did do the predictive work way back when and it collected dust, it turns out that might be the hook that's going to help me and Don and others basically raise all the money because that's the DoD story and everybody's gonna love the DoD story. Even if the DoD money ends up not being that big compared to AMUlet in the regular world, it's enough to get to get us the funding. Really. So I think that's the part of whatever deal we strike with you. That's going to be at least part of this for sure, because I don't think we can take AMUlet all by itself out without it appearing to have a whole lot more risk and the dollars being a lot more expensive. But I think if we package them all sort of in together, I'm kind of hoping that we can also do something with your company as well and package you guys together as well, because I think that there's an equally important story to talk about your history and what you've done in the industry and your new startup and how that can actually, because every time you talk about financial service industry, people get excited in the investment world. It's a lot more solid sounding. And there is a bunch of blockchain investors, there's a bunch of Bitcoin investors, but I don't know if those are the directions per se. If to the extent that Mark needs to still play with something, and I don't know what you guys can eventually satisfy him with that, but that seems to be one of our hurdles still.
That's definitely the first step.
And
And then your 3-page weight.
yeah, and I it sounds like you pretty much have something that is monstrous in potential, and it also sounds like to me again, it sounds still a little raw. 2 developers in 3 to 9 months. I'm kind of thinking that that's like bare bone minimum. It sounds to me like it's probably going to be 5 to 10 times that when we really get into this. I have not started selling companies.
Yeah, that was good. I just don't want to cause any. That was the specific request was, what would it take to get one product, out in whatever. But if we were to do all of if you took some of the capabilities, I understand what he's done and mix that with that. I mean, if somebody were of a mind and had the resources to do $50 million and 100 bodies at this, I can put them to work.
I don't think we're going to
I think
do
the
that much
No,
money.
understood.
I think that
it was in terms of
The question, and in all
You would
defense,
say it's
because
true.
I'm in your space and I've done it, and in his defense too, just putting developers doesn't